Hi, I'm George with AmateurLogic.tv, along with
Tommy from AmateurLogic.tv.
and
Ray, and I'm not from AmateurLogic.tv, but I'm with Icom.
well, tonight we've got a new radio to unveil. Now this will be all pre-release stuff, won't it? I mean, it hasn't even been released.
Yeah, the radio that I have is still a prototype. I received it a couple days ago with instructions to take it to the Orlando Hamfest, and I thought I would sneak over here, shoot a video with it to show what the radio looks like, get impressions.
So we just had a coin toss there to see who would start out with the 705 tonight, because it's going to be a smackdown, right?
Yes, sir. Well, not really. It's not even
It's
a
no
close
contest. Yeah.
No, it's not a close contest. And before we do the unveiling, here's a QRP radio, and just to give you an idea, I hope I got the right side to take off here.
Oh wow.
You go overhead, sir?
Yeah.
I've got to bring it up. Look at the discrete components.
Oh wow. That must be a 1970s rig or something.
The power pack for it. Oh, wow.
No way.
Yes way.
Oh, wow.
That's not one of them that I checked.
I bet you had to keep your Radio Shack battery of the month card.
That is the IC-202S.
Wow. What year?
Definitely in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a 70s radio on the inside there.
Telescopic antenna.
Mm-hmm.
There's
That
the
looks similar.
402.
So these are just VHF and UHF rigs, huh?
Yes, sir. There was a 6-meter one.
So you could go without batteries.
You could go without batteries.
And it's a speaker and power supply.
Yeah, that's not a switcher.
That weighs
That's
weighs a lot.
That's a real transformer,
Yeah.
that baby.
But when you think about it, the attention to detail and everything to use it, whether you're mobile, portable, or as a base station. A lot of thought went into doing these boxes.
Yeah.
We look at the backpack,
Okay.
attention to detail, call sign plate,
Nice.
feed through for your speaker microphone.
Cool.
Okay.
You even have a camera mount stud,
Oh, yeah.
because, and this is what I really wanted to get recorded. George, you and Tommy have not seen this yet, have you?
We've only seen what was shot from the Tokyo Ham Fair. And we weren't there.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
How small.
Yeah.
And this isn't staged. This is the first time to take a look
So
at
awesome.
Oh, yes.
You see that?
it.
Look
Now-
how thin it is, man. That's
Comparing it to my ID51.
Wow. And this is VHF and UHF, and this is everything, huh?
Now let me show you something else. Comparing the battery pack to the one that I've got on my ID51,
Looks
it's the same battery.
except without the belt clip.
So your handy-talkie battery will power this as well?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Awesome.
That looks like a 7300 or a 7610.
Mini 7300.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Basically same layout. That's pretty sweet.
So
And fairly, let me see how much, lightweight.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
and then to carry, I've got a mag loop antenna in here.
Oh, wow.
Comet has come out with an HF antenna.
Not bad.
Oh, wow.
Now,
Is that
you do
new?
need a mount for it because it's got a PL259. But then the mag loop, the tuning box, and some coax for it fits right inside the pouch of the backpack. The compartment that houses the radio, the bottom of the radio has your stud mount for it.
So you could just
And
screw that on a camera tripod or anything with.
Yes, sir. But you take a look here, that's secure.
Yeah.
So that's what the screw is for, out of the pouch here.
Okay.
The radio is so new. You've only had it how long?
Oh, probably 48 hours.
Yeah.
And part of that was driving over here from Dallas yesterday. So
Yeah. So we've still got. Ray has stuff to figure out about it yet. So.
I mean, some people say, wow, it's an hour-long video, but really with the 3 cameras that we have going on, we usually shoot maybe 2.5 hours total.
Oh, more than that sometimes.
Yeah, so it gets edited down, so
Yeah.
not everything will be shown, but we'll swap batteries back again. Just basically wanted to show the same battery pack for my handheld.
And that's pretty nice because you could charge up several batteries and take them with you because they don't weigh that much. And you'd have a lot of operating time on that rig out in the field.
Yep, I was looking serial number 40 on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty smart design. I like the idea of using the same battery.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to use another battery, you just say you hook it up to a car battery or something. I noticed there's a coaxial.
With the battery that comes on it, you're looking at 5 watts output power. 13.8 will give you 10 watts output power.
Okay.
Now I see something that I really wasn't expecting to see on that rig right there. And that's this little satellite icon flashing here. Now we're in a metal building, so you can't see any satellites on there. You mean this thing has got a GPS in it?
Yes, sir. It has GPS built into it with an SD card that you would load on the side here. It'll GPS track for you. More than likely, we'll adopt some of our commercial software that will take your GPS coordinates and the audio you record and show where you were when you made the contact.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
So if you're doing FM as you're going to a SOTA location, FM up the mountain, then you get to the mountaintop, you do your activation, all of that will be recorded, time stamped, date stamped, as well as geo stamped.
Cool.
So all your metadata is recorded on the card.
S014.0200051 megahertz CW.
That's pretty good sounding audio for such a small speaker.
Yep. For such a small speaker, but there again, it's got Bluetooth in it.
Yeah.
So you can pair it to a headset. So before we get too deep into this, I'd like to go over to the 703, which because of the nickel flip,
Right.
you get the 703,
I get
dude.
the 703. All right.
So the 703, built on the concept of the 706 series family. So it has a detachable head. We had a backpack for this where you could have the screen up front and the body in the backpack, use a remote head cable, all of that kind of stuff. Feel the head of the...
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say it. Yes. I mean, this is the 705 is a little heavier, but considering.
Yeah.
705's got a battery on it too.
Yeah.
And a PA
Yeah.
and all of that wonderful stuff. Now, we were talking about how long I've had with this.
Right.
Playing around with the menus while you guys were setting up to remember the layout of the 706 menus, and it took a while to remember that stuff. You got your display where you would change from the M menu, the S menu, and then the G for the graphical. There's your band scope, Tommy.
Wow.
Does that make you excited to be able to see if a band's open
really
or
not doing it for me.
No, that one, it would sweep one time, or you could have it continually sweep. You would change the rate that it would sweep.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this SmackDown.
Yeah.
See, right there is the excitement that you get when it's continually sweeping to see if there's any RF. Transmit frequency, memory names. I mean, that. But back in that day, that technology, that was exciting to be able to do that.
Yeah, it's bleeding edge when it came out.
Memory write, VFO and the memory selection. Your filters. Oh, gotta love that. That's not a happy tone, is it? That means that the optional filter is not installed.
Oh.
So you could either have a CW or a sideband filter in the 703.
Oh, wow.
Well, was it crystal filters, just like a lot of the old rigs had?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Now, one of the advantages that Tommy has, and this has been something that a lot of people have asked about, this one has an antenna tuner built in.
There you go. Take that.
The 705 does not. But with the mag loop antenna, you don't need the antenna tuner.
Right.
Then we'll come back and take a look a little bit more at the menu system here, George. Vox compression, AGC, and then we're back to number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then the memo pad, scan functions, band stack registers. You could quickly change and look at 3 of the frequencies, or you change bands like this.
Uh-huh.
But this is a plus. It's got 6 meters on it.
That's cool.
So no 2 meter sideband, no 440 sideband here.
Mm-hmm.
And what power was that?
10 watts max, but I don't remember if it was with the battery pack or with external power.
Oh, so you could put a battery pack on that one.
Yes, sir.
But it's not built in. I mean,
No, it's not built in, and you'd attach it to your regular,
Oh,
as we've got the sophisticated plug,
yes.
you'd plug in a
Universal.
battery pack into that one.
That's our universal power adapter.
Yeah.
We got our mode selection, CW, FM, USB, CW, digital mode at that point, AM. And you got to remember, what buttons do you push and hold, and which ones do you just... Now this was your memory keyers.
Yeah.
So that came up only in CW mode. This was the start of our smart menu, so it knew what functions you needed for what modes.
So Tommy, how you feeling so far about the competition tonight?
I'm not feeling too good about it at the moment. I do have a built-in tuner, so you can't top that.
Well, now
But even though you don't need one.
Well, it depends on the antenna that you want. If you throw up a dipole or that off-center fed that George has got over there with the interesting graph that we did earlier tonight.
Yeah, the one that's not quite resonant on any of the hand bands.
yeah.
Yep. But you've got it here. We take a look here, your preamp, attenuator. I mean, it's got all the typical things that you would normally have.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess now, George, what we'll do is we'll go to yours.
Okay, now I just want to point out, Tommy, this thing is as big and probably weighs as much as my IC-705.
Yeah, well, it looks very similar, like they're probably built on
Well,
the
it
same
is.
chassis.
It looks very similar.
It was, I think it weighed in right around 5 to 5.5 pounds. Why don't you take a look at something here? Besides all the smudgy fingerprints from playing around with it yesterday, we left the radio on.
Yes.
The screen didn't die. The screensaver kicked in.
So I'm conserving batteries there, Tommy.
That's pretty smart of you.
And he can even get even more cocky about it, because if you intentionally want to, okay, I'm on my call frequency, I'm going to stay there while I'm on the SOTA, I just momentarily press the power button, it goes amber. You can still receive and hear. It just kills all the controls on the front panel.
It conserves a lot of battery power, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Now, we don't have the official specs. What we'll do, like we've seen some manufacturers, they'll spec minimum current, not typical or nominal current. When this is a finished product, they've got all the software, hardware, everything fixed on it, there will be an official current spec on it, but we do not have that at this point.
Yeah.
Now, the set menus look and feel a lot like your 7300, your 9700. You notice we got the keyer on here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and come on out. Oh, we're in CW mode, and we'll turn up the volume just a little bit here. There's the modes. You had to remember on Tommy's which one you single press and which one you pressed and held to get to it.
I see DV, so it's got D-Star?
Yes, sir, it does.
Oh, I did not realize
So the GPS that George was talking about, you can go into DR mode. We don't have the repeater list set yet for this, but you go into DR mode, and you got your near repeater function for analog as well as voice. And the cool thing that I like about it is you can go into scan mode while in DR mode as you're traveling, and it will automatically scan through the repeater list.
Oh, wow.
We got wide FM as well.
Okay.
You don't have that there.
Nope, I don't.
So we toggled up or down through bands on yours, Tommy.
Oh, wow.
You see a couple of new ones in there? FM radio, air band,
Oh, no.
118 to 136.
Cool.
AM.
Yes, sir. The band scope, you can either have the micro, none, or with the large band scope. I mean, function and feel looks just like all your other.
Well, that's what I was thinking, Ray. You know, just sitting here looking at it, I feel like I could probably just sit down and start operating it, because I've used an IC-705.
Yep.
It operates just like the 7610. It even operates a lot like my my 7700.
Yeah, it operates. That's what I like about. Yeah, it operates a lot like the 8600 receiver.
Yep.
And the 7100.
And the
Except you don't have
9700.
Yeah, I like that. It's all consistent.
So it's really not going to be a huge learning curve to get started with one of these, is it?
Not at all.
No, so like you had to sit down and remember the menu system on this thing. You won't have that problem in the future with that.
Across the bottom, your buttons are menu, function, quick, exit. The mini scope, we've got an auto tune, so when you're in CW mode, it's also RX to CS, your speech and your lock, scan, memory pad, XFC, RIT, and then your multifunction.
Nice.
So it is a true SDR, but we're kind of mixing the terminology, and the terminology is a direct sampling SDR. We're direct sampling from 25 megahertz on down, where it's a single down conversion for 25 meg on up. And the reason I leave it there is, like I said, this is a prototype. I don't know what the true cutoffs are for the receiver. I know there's been questions about, does it have general coverage receive? Is it just ham bands only? So I can't answer that one at this point based on the firmware that's in it.
Yeah, I guess it is SDR, so things are always subject to change, new
Yes, sir.
features.
And this magical slot on the side right there, that's a micro SD card. That will allow you to do firmware updates. When I go into the set mode, there's SD, firmware update.
Cool. So I see some other ports on this side. What we got over here?
speaker microphone,
Okay.
your coaxial power connection, your key for CW, and your micro USB
Okay.
with the screen turned off. And you got the amber light here, Bluetooth headset, a speaker mic, maybe an Android or iOS app to control it. Who knows what all you could do. And those are things that are currently undefined.
Digital modes. Your computer to it. You don't really need the screen on there for that.
No,
A game changer for QRP, isn't it?
that term's going to get worn out. The 7300 has been called a game changer.
And it was.
Yeah.
The 9700's been called a game changer.
Well, it was too.
Now, you just called the 705 a game changer.
It is like a major event here.
Yes, sir, it
Yeah.
is.
Compared with what we had previously. Yeah, it's not. You can't compare them.
No.
No, there's no comparison.
Hey, George, I'll trade you this big, giant, good radio for that little one there if you want.
Well, you probably should take that big giant radio over there to the next Ham Fest. And be saving your money for one of these. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think you're going to want one of these.
Well, I can kind of see into the future, and I see one of them in my future sometime here pretty soon.
Well, this would be perfect for your traveling,
It
wouldn't it?
would. It'd fit really nicely in my suitcase.
Wait a minute, your suitcase?
Oh, in my backpack you brought me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. That I brought
Carry on.
you. Carry on, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And George, you saw the speaker mic earlier.
Yes, and I liked it, and I commented on how nice a cable that has on it
that's nice.
too.
It feels good and solid too. That's
Yeah.
not flimsy speaker mic.
One antenna port, the BNC connector. You got a ground lug, then speaker, microphone, and then the SD card.
Okay.
Back of the radio. Can thank our buddy N9MNH, Matt. He helped us come up with some of the standard bolt patterns there, as well as for your camera.
Okay.
A little rubber feet on the bottom of it, so when you do set it down as a base station, it does not slide very easily.
I do like the 1/4-20 thread on the bottom for a tripod, so you could use like a big Gorilla Pod, sit on the table, picnic table, whatever, off the ground if you were.
Or if you're sitting on a rock, you can have it on a tripod, a micro tripod as well.
Yep. And then the whole pattern looks like the same as those Panavice type mounts.
Yeah, Matt said that there was a certain technical term for it. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
It's
it looks like exactly the same size.
so
Well, cool. We've got the same good Icom filtering built in, I see, just like the 7300.
now here's one of the differences. This does not have the double controls for your passband tuning. You select, and it shows right here in the corner, whether you're on 1 or 2,
Oh, okay.
which is better,
Yeah.
1 or 2. Same
that's
direction, that's IF shift. Opposite, it's narrowing your passband.
Cool.
But you can narrow your passband by dialing in what you want.
Now, I've got to say that is one of the neatest features that I have seen, and I didn't know of anyone doing that until I started using Icom radios.
And that was on the 7000 where you learned that one.
That was. It really, you don't need those crystal filters if you've got something like this.
Now, with it done in a DSP, you filter out the noise. It takes it out of the AGC and all of that. So you also have your sharp and your soft.
So that's a lot of features packed into that small box.
Here's an interesting feature that we added with the 9700. It was a firmware update back in September or October last year, the picture mode.
Okay.
There again, Android, iOS tablets. I think you guys showed that you could go from Android to an Apple with Icom and a non-Icom, and all of it was intercompatible. They would all talk.
We did. It worked great.
Would have never occurred to me to put VHF and UHF and GPS and D-Star all in a QRP rig.
You can have fun with it. Hey, take a look at my view and send it to everybody on the D-Star network. Or if you get hurt hiking up there. I mean, I at Quartz Fest, I sat in and listened to a guy talking about doing SOTA. And he talked about checking in with, if it's in a national park, checking in with the rangers to find out what the natural inhabitants are. Is it a wildcat day? What are the bears doing? I mean, you could get attacked, don't have cell coverage, but you could take a photo of your wounds, 5 watts from a mountaintop into a D-Star repeater, you can send a photo of what's happened. There we go. Quick menu brings up a lot of the same things that you will see in like the 5100. Your GPS position, your home channel, your voltage. I mean, the battery was not fully charged when I got the thing. It had 4 of the 5 bars lit up. So, of course, I played with it when I first got it. At least 5 hours today. And still looks like 1/5 of the battery.
Yeah.
And 7.2 volts on a 7.6 volt lithium ion battery pack. All your meters. George, does that look very familiar to yours?
Yes, that looks just like my 7000 there.
He keeps going back to that 7000.
You know, I like that 7000, Ray. That's what kind of got me started with the Icom rig. So, you know, I think maybe that was my first Icom HF rig.
Call sign directory. I mean, it's got all your D-Star stuff, including the DV gateway, DV auto reply. So.
Yeah, very similar.
It would be no trouble, you know, for an Icom user just to sit down and start operating that, or really anybody for that matter.
I mean, just the key thing is remembering that it is a touchscreen radio, and to navigate around.
Just touch whatever you want to do, huh?
Yep.
Yep.
Memory channels, VFO.
I always liked the interface for the touchscreen, the way Icom did them, because anything that you're interested in, if you're interested in the mode, you touch the mode. If you're interested in the frequency, touch the frequency. You know, even the segments on the frequency, if you want to, where you want to tune.
Oh yeah, it's got plenty of tuning steps for you. In fact, it's got 2 pages of tuning steps.
Wow.
Yeah. So, as long as you're not scared to touch it, it's pretty easy to kind of figure out the radio and how it works.
And from the smudges, you can tell that I've been poking around on the thing. A little bit of the D-Star stuff, and I know Tommy's done a few things on D-Star, so we're going to let you do what most hams do. Kerchunk the frequency.
W5JDX.
Isn't that a beautiful looking signal?
You've
Yes,
Kerchunked
it is.
before, haven't you?
I'll never tell.
One of the nice things about D-Star, and it's in all the D-Star radios, is when you key up, it transmits your call sign.
Yep.
Well, the 705 is a full-blown D-Star radio, and it will identify the call sign of anybody at Kerchunk's, and you can make settings, whether it's just regular alphabet, phonetics. You even turn that off if you get tired of hearing it. I know I do it sometimes on a real busy channel where you got a bunch of people round tabling, and it will try to say every call sign that comes across.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
W5JDX.
Busted.
Yes, sir. And you've got your transmit message on as well.
I do.
So it will scroll across the screen whatever message that you have on there.
W5JDX.
Boy, he keeps kerchunking it. It's just, he likes hearing his call sign.
He does.
Well, you know, I figure I'm going to get in okay since I'm only like 2 feet away from the rig.
Yes, sir.
I'm the big dog.
But when you take a look at it, it's not going to come up on this one because we do not have a database in the radio, but you've got DR mode. And the DR mode's going to look very similar to your ID 51, your 5100, the 4100, the 9700, where it shows your to and your from fields.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So that's something that you're accustomed to playing around with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now, along with that, we mentioned earlier about the DV mode settings that's in the second menu. You've got your DV gateway, the DV auto reply. That's where you can save a message in it. And if somebody call sign routes to you, the radio will respond with a pre-recorded message back to whoever called you.
Huh.
So it's almost like having a answering machine.
Yeah.
Your call sign directory. Now let's see. That was me earlier. There again, date and time stamp. Looks like some people have played with it in Japan.
In August.
Yeah.
Last year.
Here we go. Miss D-Star from Japan.
Oh, there's been quite a bit of traffic on there already.
Yes, sir. Back in August, September. Now you could either use the buttons like that, or
Yeah.
you can scroll through them using the tuning knob. There's your little detent, so you can keep moving it.
Nice.
Now we can look at detail. And let's see, on some of these, it looked like there was GPS coordinates.
Went past it.
There we go.
Altitude 12 feet.
And that's interesting that it's in feet
Yeah, it is,
instead of
isn't it?
in the metric system like they use over there. But back into the memory, we talked about the picture mode. The picture mode, you can tap on to see the receive. If you've got an SD card, you can look at the history. It will timestamp it, who it was from. There again, the SD card's important, so when you're using no SD card, the gateway, all the settings to set up your gateway mode. Wireless LAN. So Tommy, you can get the hotel, although you look at double authentication on a lot of hotels now, but you can tether it to your phone.
Yeah,
If you got a data plan, use a hotspot that way.
I got the best kind of data plan. Somebody else pays for it and it's unlimited.
There you go. Again, your repeater setups if you're doing call sign routing. I mean, just pretty much a lot of it as like what you see on your 7300 that we've covered in some of the other videos. 99 memories for your HF. I don't know how many memories yet for the repeater lists for D-Star or anything like that at this point. So memory pad. Take a look here.
Yeah, this has got everything all the bigger brothers have in it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I really can't think of anything that's missing? Anything that you need that we
Now
haven't seen?
here's one thing that I noticed earlier: band edge beep on user and transmit limits. I mean, I don't remember if the 7300 has that, but I thought that was pretty cool. Where the defaults or the user.
Yeah.
So the user, if you're a general, you could set your band limits
Oh,
in
wow.
the general band.
Now that is pretty neat. I don't know that I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
So there's your user band edges.
Mm-hmm.
You can go in here and edit it, pretty much like you do your scope,
Yeah.
upper and lower limits.
Whatever you got privileges for.
Now I assume this is like the other D-Star radios. You can have more than one user set up in here.
Yes, sir. There's 6 MyCall settings.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your 8 characters, I believe it is, and then let's take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I guess if you've got more than 6 hams in the family, maybe you need more than one radio.
Well, I'm hoping that there'd be 6 radios in there.
At least.
Right, yeah.
Yes. I mean, Tommy could have one for his backpack that travels with him.
Mm-hmm.
If he's got an RV, one in the RV, so if he goes hiking. Now, the cool thing about it, he can have them both set up exactly the same by using the micro SD card
Right.
and save your profiles. One of the things that I've started doing, like with my 5100, and you can do that with this, you can go to www.dstarinfo.com and download. And when I went out to Quartz Fest, what I ended up doing was I set up for 75% analog, 25% D-Star, and downloaded regional. I did home for Texas, but then when I got out of Texas, and believe it or not, all the repeaters for analog and D-Star in Texas exceeded the 1200 that was in the 5100.
Yeah. There's a lot of.
So then I did, I think LA was my next region, which there was enough in the LA region to cover Arizona, New Mexico, and California. Then I did Seattle, Chicago, New York, and then Atlanta for another landmark. So when that one's in my RV, so when I'm traveling all across the U.S., when I start noticing the scan run out, I can just load in the next profile.
Yeah, Wayne does that.
Yeah, I do that on my handy talkie for when I travel.
Oh, cool. And with the GPS, in downloading that information with all the GPS coordinates in it, it makes it real easy to pull up the near me repeater.
Huh, yeah, I guess so.
And now, since the firmware update had the analog put in, it does both of them.
Yeah, that was a great addition.
Now here's one of the things I noticed earlier going through it. You now have your receive for wide FM. So I can come in here and make adjustments to the bass and the treble. And it's for RTTY, CW, wide FM, SSB, AM, FM, and DV.
Okay.
For transmit, there again, pretty much
Very nice.
all the same. The function, your beep levels, their home channel. We talked about the user band edge already. Power save, whether it's auto short, mid, or long.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, hopefully in the advanced manual, they'll talk about what the duration is for standby and receive for the power save. You can set your maximum limits on your transmit power on batteries or 13.8. There is a tuner output.
Okay.
So it can control a tuner.
Yes, sir. And like your lock function, you can lock the whole panel or just the main tuning dial when you go to lock. Power off settings for remote control. So RSBA1 is, from the looks of it, the RSBA1 server is built into it. And the reason why I say that, as we get into the wireless LAN, here's your remote settings. Network username, network radio. When you go into the network user, ID, password, and if they've got administrative authority. We were talking about D-Star earlier. Your settings for your standby beep, auto reply, DV data transmit, digital monitor. I mean, everything that you have right there. Even if you've got emergency mode turned on for it. QSO log, where it records everything. And then your display functionality, the settings for it, that again impacting your current drain with your LCD backlight adjustment.
Oh yeah.
But your different meters, what you want to have pop up, what modes, your call sign.
Built-in SWR meter?
It does have the SWR meter. We'll go into menu, and then you got your SWR.
Okay.
Where what you do is you key up, and it will show you what your SWR is on your antenna.
It's like an antenna analyzer almost.
Not as fancy as some.
No, but it'll show you.
But a basic, good enough to get the job done.
Yeah, that way you know where
you're tuned.
Right, you're tuned, but there again, you got your steps. So, so the bar will show you each one is a certain step. So as you go to more, you'll see your lower and your upper frequencies change.
Okay.
So at 10, you'll go from 13,980. So we'd want to start the low end at 1400. So we could easily check the CW portion of your antenna.
Okay.
And then you'll get nine bars at 10 kilohertz steps. And then when you go to play and it shows 1400, you key up your microphone and it steps through those.
Okay. Well, that's cool. So you don't have to carry an SWR meter with you.
Nope. So we mentioned earlier about the functions. You can select the function that you want, preamp 1, preamp 2, or off, AGC. You press and hold it. You can set your decay times. Even set it to off. Noise blanker, you got on or off, but if you press and hold it,
okay.
Your adjustments.
Yeah, that looks familiar.
Yeah, very familiar.
Your break-in delay. But you have, like for phone, you got your Vox. Let's go over here to sideband. You got your Vox, you press and hold. There's all your settings for your Vox. Your scans, the transmit bandwidth and the compression on or off, push and hold it, again your compression setting, or when you hit the multi-button, the compression setting is right there for a quick adjustment. Transmit bandwidth, you touch and hold it to shift it. Monitor on and off, touch and hold, takes you back to the multifunction, or just pressing the multifunction brings you where you can make your adjustment to your monitor level, your compression, mic gain, and then power out for whatever band you're in. So when we exit out, we'll come here, go to 2 meters.
Okay.
Yeah, separate power levels for every band.
Yep. But you're missing compression now because we're in DV mode. If we came here, 2 meter sideband,
Okay.
there's your compression.
So smart menus.
Smart menus where they adjust as you need.
Good deal.
Nice.
CW, unlike some of the other radios I've seen where you have this huge laundry list of settings that you have to scroll through.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those.
We can press and hold on the screen for your tuning resolution. And you notice when we went to the repeater frequencies, the offset adjusts.
Uh-huh.
2 meter and 440 seem to be linked
Okay.
Okay.
on your settings here for your tuning steps.
Well, that makes sense.
Or, let's take a look here. Based on mode, not frequency.
Ah,
Some of the other settings, time set. I manually set the UTC offset for it, date and time. The NTP function,
oh,
GPS time.
that's nice.
And you can go in and change your NTP server.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned, we'll go here to the modulation input on the connectors. You got USB modulation level. Sorry.
Oh, wireless LAN modulation.
Oh, for remote?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Data off modulation. Right now it's mic and USB. It could be wireless LAN. Data modulation. Wireless LAN again.
Wow.
So Tommy, that addresses what you were talking about earlier. You can have the 705 on a tripod sitting on a rock over there by your antenna out in the sun, and you can be relaxing in the shade in a chair with your laptop.
Yeah.
Or your
digital modes or RSBA1 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. This just keeps looking better and better, Ray. I think there's stuff in here that's maybe not even in some of the other radios yet.
Oh, definitely. The wireless LAN is one of the newest things. Bluetooth. Let's go ahead and go down to the Bluetooth settings. One thing that we don't know at this point is what Bluetooth profiles. But we do see that there's a headset as well as a data device set. Data device, serial port function, what all you can do with it, D-Star data. Wireless LAN setting, we talked about the remote. The network name you can program, connection settings, SD card we talked about. The firmware update, load setting, save setting, import, export, that's for those CSV files that you download from D-Star Info.
Yep, I did a segment on that recently.
I just never would have considered that a QRP rig could possibly have all of this in it. I mean, you've even got the kitchen sink in there, I think. It's just a little bit of everything. Tommy, I want you to have one too, so I'm going to throw in that nickel that I won in the toss a while ago.
I appreciate that.
That'll get you started saving for it. Ray, thanks for bringing that by here tonight and
Well, I appreciate it.
giving us a sneak peek because, wow, that's, it's just got virtually everything you could want in there and more.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to come over here with it. It's always a pleasure to see the new gear when it's coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, and we know that you can't spend as much time with those guys at Orlando as you did with us here tonight. So
No,
we
there's going to be
appreciate it.
I feel that we're going to be just completely packed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because we're showing quite a few new things from other divisions. We're going to be showing our Iridium push-to-talk solution. So our SAT radio. We're going to be showing the mobile IP501 or the IP501 mobile, which is our LTE solution. So there's a lot of interesting things in the booth this year.
Wow.
Well, cool. Hope you have a good show there. That's one of the ones that's on my bucket list to go to one of these days, but just haven't made it yet.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys.
All right. Thanks, Ray.
73, everybody. So just tapping it. Okay, just tapping it toggles it.
Yeah. Say that again. Just tapping it.
When you just momentarily press it, it toggles through it.
Cool.
Sorry,
Very nice.
Tommy's got me scared to say tap it.
Yeah.
I can understand. What do you think his chances are of getting out the door with that, Tommy?
They're good.
He's already got it on.